Welcome back to 101 Sports. I'm now joined by our college football experts, Preston Willett and Steve Normington, to break down the big game last week and to take a look into the crystal ball and make some predictions. All right, let's get your reactions to that big game last week. Texas A&M, Alabama, Manziel versus the defending national championships. What'd you guys think?
Well, I mean, honestly, this just proved what I thought was going to happen. Texas A&M's defense is awful. They were ranked 112th in the nation behind UAB and Air Force. I mean, those are stalwart defenses right there.
Certainly not number 6 in
and
the
the
country.
next close-ranked defense is Georgia, who, they played South Carolina and Clemson this year, so that's kind of an excuse right there. But Texas A&M, they're all the way back at 112th right now.
Alabama's really good, but everyone, including my grandmother, is sick and tired of talking about them. And everyone who's watching college football these days, you know who they want to talk about? It's Johnny Manziel. Man, this guy is just downright entertaining. Throws for 5 touchdowns. Now, I understand he threw 2 picks, but what more can the guy do? He is a gamer, and I haven't seen a player since Reggie Bush.
We knew about Johnny Manziel coming into the game. We knew he could show up and ball.
We knew he could score 42 points versus that Alabama defense. That's very impressive.
This is not the same Alabama defense. In fact, they are ranked way behind Oregon, who, if they play Oregon in the national title game, think how many problems they're going to have with them. That's an up-tempo offense that's completely superior
because
to what
Alabama's defense is almost too well coached. And we discussed this last night, that they just, when a play breaks down, they have no clue how to respond because they are like robots playing defense because the coaching staff is so strong. They know exactly where they need to be.
And I just want to say, your cornerbacks are atrocious when you're giving Mike Evans 270 yards receiving.
Johnny Manziel made him look like the next Jerry Rice, and that shouldn't happen.
Absolutely. So A&M came away with that game, obviously, with a loss. So now let's talk about those one-loss teams. Which one-loss team has the best chance of making the BCS Bowl?
I think you got to go with Georgia. Just looking at the schedule, they have LSU and Florida at home, and Florida already lost to a Miami team that's subpar at best. And I mean, you've got the best running back averaging nearly 7 yards per carry, which is ridiculous, in Todd Gurley.
And the thing that makes them so appealing right now is because they beat South Carolina, which is really their only competition in that side of the SEC, because South Carolina is the only team that actually has skill players and a defense that can compete. Florida is awful.
Additionally, you have 10 returning starters coming back on offense. You've got to love that. And I know the defense is very young. You only have 2 starters coming back, but they're going to get better as the season goes on. And guess what? They lost the first game of the season. That's plenty of time to recover and get better at all facets
of the game. And the thing
is,
in the SEC, you could lose 1, maybe even 2 games and still be better than a undefeated or one-loss team from any other conference.
And you have that matchup against Alabama if they sweep the table in the championship game.
You beat them,
so
you can go anywhere.
Absolutely. So look out for the Georgia Dogs for the rest of the season. All right, let's take a look into the crystal ball. Which top 5 team do you guys think will lose first of the season?
Clemson. Because they always do. They always do. I would not be shocked at all if they go out and lose against NC State this weekend. I would not be shocked at all.
The only tough games they have on their set schedule are Florida State, who have a freshman quarterback, and South Carolina. He does look very good, granted. But
when you talk about Clemson, it doesn't matter if they're tough games because they just lose to teams they should have no business of actually having a game with them.
The team that's going to lose first is definitely going to be Stanford. You saw them come out. They did not play well against San Jose State and Army.
Hey, whoa. San Jose State is pretty decent team. They have David
They're a good team.
I don't know if you've heard about David Fales, but he's going to be a legit NFL quarterback. So I watch your San Jose State.
They have an eerily similar offense in their next upcoming game against Arizona State compared to Wisconsin. Very similar styles, running the ball. Arizona State, granted, they won kind of on a fluke play, but the defense has trouble with very mobile quarterbacks, and the head coach has been trying to recruit there.
But the question is who's going to lose first, and I don't see Stanford losing until they actually play one of the ranked teams down the road like Oregon.
Or UCLA.
But Clemson could lose this weekend against NC State because they're so unpredictable because sometimes they don't show up.
All right, well, we'll definitely have to look very tightly. I know you want to get that last comment in.
We didn't even talk to Taj Boyd and this is Clemson football.
Very closely about Clemson and
Stanford
the rest of the season. We will definitely have to come back and relive that. But coming up, Jake and our MLB experts will hand out their final awards from the baseball season that was. Stay tuned. You're watching 101 Sports on Elon Student Television.